Speaking of Eagles, and really beyond this conference, I want us to stay connected. This is not just a moment, y'all. This is a movement. Yeah. This is a movement. And so I want you to stay in motion with us by joining the Eagles Academy. It's the EaglesAcademy.com is where I teach, is where I train. We got a couple of our members there from the Eagles Academy who are here. We focus on God, goals, gifts, greatness, financial literacy, speaking, development, all of that. And you can join by going to the EaglesAcademy.com or by scanning the QR code on your badge. Yeah. Y'all, listen, this ain't going to just be access identity. This is going to be access technology today. So y'all can scan the QR code on your badge, and that'll tell you more information. Listen, my dear mama is in the house. Come on, my dear mother's here, Dr. Janice Connor. Give it up for my mama. My mama. No, it ain't my girlfriend. It ain't my sister. That's not my wife. That's my mama. Y'all know, yeah. That's my mama here. Y'all know black don't crack. Beige don't age. Brown won't let you down. Tan got a plan. And lighter do you right. I think I got everybody in the house. I hit everybody complexion today. And there's a connection with our complexion as well. We got so many incredible pastors and leaders who are here. We got some incredible visionaries. Listen, this is an intergenerational, international conference where we have various backgrounds. We have various ages represented. And y'all have literally come from near and far. 24 states and 13 countries have registered for the conference. Y'all ought to make some noise for that. Yes. And so whether you're in person, whether you're streaming via our live virtual stream, but if you really represent your city and your state, I want you to make some noise when I shout out your location. DJ Lyrics, can you play a little something for me? There we go. Lil Jeezy in the building. Ain't nothing wrong with Lil Jesus and Jeezy. Can we have a little bit of both? I put on for my city, and she got the edited version playing for me, please. Yeah. We got North Carolina represented. Yeah. We got Indiana in the house. I'm going back to Indiana. Indiana, here I come. We got Virginia. We got Phoenix, Colorado, the United Kingdom. My hometown is where it is. I love Detroit, but yeah, man, no problem. Real thing, Jamaica, man. Yeah, man, no problem. Florida. Got Montreal, Canada, Alabama, Minnesota, Iowa, New York, Barbados, the Bahamas, South Africa, Los Angeles, California, Cleveland. Cleveland, this is for you, as LeBron would say. New Jersey, Mexico. Hey. We got Texas, San Antonio, Atlanta, ATL, Washington State, Washington, D.C., Kansas City, Missouri, Abuja, Nigeria. We got Kenya, Paris, France, Ghana, Baltimore, Columbia, South Carolina, Nashville, New Orleans, Louisiana, Columbus, Ohio, Arkansas, and Uganda. Last but not least, I got to shout out to Great Lakes State. I know y'all was wondering when am I going to get to it, but where's Michigan at? I want to hear you. Saginaw, Southfield, Flint, Novi, and my hometown of Motown, whether you east side or west side, I put on for every side. Detroit, what up, though? Come on, Detroit. Yeah, man. Yeah. I put on for it. Listen, we want to welcome our live stream audience to the Access Identity Conference experience, wherever you're watching from. Listen, I want you to go and drop right now. Yeah, on the live stream experience, I want you to drop your city in the comment section. And this live stream is brought to you by B-Rut Productions. Give it up for B-Rut Productions. Yeah. Who's capturing these amazing moments. And shout out to Pegasus Entertainment and my man, 100 Grand Dave, for engineering this amazing experience. Give it up for Dave, y'all. Listen, I want you just real quickly, just look at your neighbor. I know we ain't in church, but I was born in it. I was raised in it. Pastor Kelly, you going to help me with it? Just look at your neighbor, and as you're looking at them, listen, I want you to do this. I want you to think about everything that's wrong with them. y'all. I want to disrupt the equilibrium real quickly. Yeah. No, all right, stop. Somebody say, I need a little bit more time. I found something on this one. Now, I don't want you to do that. I want you to really focus on what is right with them. And see, sadly, what we do is we always focus on what is wrong with somebody rather than what is right with them. We oftentimes prejudge. We oftentimes stereotype people. And the person you sit next to could be your hookup. Holla if you hear me. The person who you sit next to could be your blessing. The person who you sit next to is really somebody who you could be learning from. Here's the problem. A lot of times we're hating on people who we should be learning from. I can't get no help in here. No one of us has it all, from me to you. We all need each other. We all need each other because you have something that I need and I have something that you need. And listen, this is more than a conference, y'all. This is a community. And I'm saying that because culture is the new currency. This is a community of collaboration. This is a community not of competition, but of collaboration. We champion camaraderie. We champion connection, not competition, but collaboration. Why do we do that? Because a win for you is a win for me too. I can't get no help in here. Competition happens at the bottom, and people at the top are collaborating. You're not at the top of the bottom. You're at the top of the top with people who are on top of their vision. And so you need to realize this, that if God is blessing your neighbor, that means he's in your neighborhood. Yeah. Here it is. Why is this so needed and so necessary and so important? Because during the pandemic, they told us to pivot. And Pastor John Hall, I know you can ride with me. You Pastor Wynn, I know you know it. Didn't just play in the NBA, but you pray in the NBA. As many cases as somebody who really galvanizes people. And so pivoting is a basketball term. It's really to turn from one direction to the next. But if you keep pivoting, you're going to stay dizzy. What's pivotal, though, is that we have to take steps to prosper. And we got to do that through strategy. We got to do that through structure. We have to do that through solutions to take our vision to another dimension. And more than ever before, we have to be multidimensional and entrepreneurial. Because if COVID-19 taught us anything, it's that if you don't evolve, you won't be involved. I ain't even started yet. I'm already dropping something. If you don't evolve, you won't be involved. And so this is a conference of a revolution. This conference is a revolution of evolution. This conference empowers you to color outside the lines and really empowering you to be innovative, to be creative, to be transformative, to be resourceful, to really connect kingdom and community to merge ministry in the marketplace. And so one thing about this conference community is that it's designed to increase your ideas. We're designed here to increase your impact and your influence. Your income will never increase if your ideas don't. Your income will never increase if your impact does not increase. Your income will never increase until your influence increases. And as we are here today, we can understand the fact that nothing can stop an idea whose time has come. If you believe it, why don't you clap your hands for it? I know you're applauding, but hear me. Impact is not about applause. Impact is about rolling up our sleeves to do the work for a cause. Why? Because if your dream is affordable, you're not dreaming big enough. When I started out on this, I did not have the budget, but I had the faith. I can't get nobody help me. If your dream is affordable, you're not dreaming big enough. If your vision can only be accomplished by you, it's too small. Come on now. I need destiny helpers. You need vision purpose partners that go beyond I and me to recognize it's about us and we. Dr. John Maxwell, who was one of the greatest leaders, thought leaders on leadership, said the most introverted of us. Where are my introverts at? Where my introverts at? Where my extroverts at? All right, y'all gonna talk all day. Where my ambiverts at? You stuck in the middle. I'm an ambivert. I need to kick it and then I need my time. But here's what Dr. John Maxwell said. He said, the most introverted of us will influence over the course of our lifetime 10,000 people. Isn't that interesting? Even if you don't get on social media. You're going to influence 10,000 people over the course of your life. And so leadership is the ability to influence. That's what leadership can be boiled down to. Leaders don't just create followers. Leaders create leaders from those who follow them. And so what is access identity? Well, when you think about access, it's often been delayed and denied. It's about who you know. It's about how much money you got in your pocket. It's about, do you have the particular skin to win or lose out on an opportunity? And often people like you and me have been denied access to opportunity. And that's why this conference is so important. Why is it important? Because it's about building people. It's about building a longer table. Hear me. Access is about building a longer table rather than a taller fence. Some of y'all gonna get that next week. We build a longer table rather than a taller fence by providing access to knowledge, a wealth of wisdom and resources, because we need to develop our greatness. As they say, if you're not at the table, then you're on the menu. And here it is. Too many of our people have been devoured for far too long. But I believe I got a few people today who are going to not be devoured, but be empowered. A lot of people didn't give me a seat at the table, so I created my own. And I invited you to pull up. Yeah, I invited you to pull up and take a seat if you're here today. And so here it is. Identity is the self-discovery of what you possess internally and introspectively. Your identity, your personal ID is your intelligent design. And that's what I want to talk about today. I want to jump right on into it. Just look at somebody by way of subject matter and tell them, show me some ID. Yeah. Tell them, that's the wrong neighbor. Look at the other neighbor. I don't believe you are who you say you are, so show me some ID. Yeah. Don't fake the funk. Show me some ID. I ain't new to this, I'm true to this. Don't act brand new, because if you think about that, you've all been asked to show some ID before. You've been asked to show some ID when you went through TSA to get on the plane. Where are the folks who caught the plane today? Yeah. Katisha, I see you in the back. Right? They asked you to show some ID in the bar. Don't look at me like that. They asked you to show some ID at the club. Oh, y'all quiet now. I can hear a church mouse licking ice. They asked you to show some ID at the club, and y'all had a nerve. Here's what you did. You gave them a fake ID. Oh, come on. I wish I had a few folks who testify. You had a few fake IDs. Yeah, come. Dr. Sabrina Jackson, we're going to hear from her. I hope she's going to leave me something to say. Right? Don't play with me on that, because I'll read your mail and ring your bell. Y'all know I'm telling the truth. But show me some ID so you can prove that you are who you say you are. Your ID, hear me, is your intelligent design. And here's the question today. Why are you afraid to embrace your authenticity and your identity? Because it's all nestled in your unique ability. You got to understand this today. You're too unique to compete, and you're too rare to compare. You got to understand this, that your royalty demands loyalty. Nobody can beat you being you. Do you know that you're the greatest you that God ever created? Oh, come on. Yeah, I'm the greatest me. So you can't be imitated. You can't be duplicated. When you think about AI, according to researchers, by 2030, AI, I'm not talking about access identity, but artificial intelligence will put, here it is, 100 million people out of work. AI, artificial intelligence, is going to put 100 million folks out of work. And in order to shift the future, what do we have to do? We have to be strategic now. Listen, I know you're anointed, but you got to be strategic. Why do I say that? Because a job is what you're paid for, but your calling and your purpose is what you're made for. If you don't know what you're made for, if you need to stir up your gift even more, I'm telling you, by the time you leave out of here today, you're going to be running with your vision, and ain't nobody going to be able to slow you down. Sometimes you have to work your dream like your job until your dream becomes your job. Talk, Dr. Eddie. I don't think they're ready. I can't hear nobody. I wonder, I got some folk in here who said, I didn't just come to shout, but I came to shift. I came to shift my vision. I came to shift my family. I came to shift my generation. I came to shift my trajectory. I came to shift my community. I came to shift my church community. They told you to spin around 3 times until you get a miracle. But many of us, we kept spinning and we kept spinning and we kept spinning. And now we too dizzy to walk into our destiny. Hear me? You're too naturally intelligent for artificial intelligence to replace you. I don't know about you, but you can't replace my gift. You can't replace my anointing. You can't replace my talent. You're too resourceful, here it is, to let a robot rob you of your value. And here it is in the midst of AI, in the midst of artificial intelligence. The real AI is access identity, and that's why we're here today. Where are my business leaders by a show of hands? Where are my entrepreneurs by a show of hands? I want to scan the room. I want to look at all y'all. Where are my authors? Where are my speakers? Where are my pastors and ministry leaders? Where are my visionaries at? Yeah. Listen, I told them, when you come and register and when you come to the conference, I said, I don't know about you, but I'm coming to work the room. I'm about to introduce myself to y'all like you don't even know me. I'm coming to work the room, right? Because you got to understand this. Your direction is in your connection. Get out of your comfort zone. Get out of your sphere of influence. Meet somebody. Talk to somebody. Look around this place and look at all of this talent and all these resources. We are the leaders that we've been looking for. And here it is. I believe that somebody is waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. Here's the question. How much longer will you make them wait? I came to really disturb the equilibrium today. I came to shake you up. Hear me. You cheat the world of you when you are fearful to be all that God created you to be. Here's what you got to do. If you can just get over your personal barriers, then you can break barriers for others. Why? Because they're in search of wisdom. They're in search of wisdom that they have gained from their wounds. I sincerely believe somebody's waiting for you to become who you are so they can become who they're supposed to be. And that happens through self-discovery. That happens through harnessing the power of our unique identity. There are some serious questions that we have to ask today. And where are my note takers at today? Where's somebody? All right, you got it on your phone or you got it a notepad? Yeah, you got an ink pen. I want you to take some notes today. I got a few slides that I'm going to really give to you. But here's a few questions that I want you to ask, and I want you to write some of these things down. Here they are. 1, who am I? Who am I? What is the unique quality of who it is that I am? I didn't come to fake the funk with you today. I came to go deeper so that we can go higher. Well, who am I? What makes me me? Where do I come from? I ain't just talking about you from Mack and Bewick. I ain't just talking about you from Dexter and Davison. I ain't just talking about you from the east side or the west side. Where do I come from? Where am I going? If you don't know where you're going, somebody going to stop you from getting there. What do I want out of life? What do I want out of life? Beyond a husband or wife, 2 kids and a picket fence, what else do you want out of life? What kind of people do you want coming with you and joining you on your journey? Oh, yeah. I got to have purpose type of people. I got to have destiny drivers. It's critical to realize that because if you don't know what you want, somebody's going to decide what you get. And hear me, it's generally going to be what you don't want. But how do you know what you don't want if you don't know what you do want? Are you confused yet? So is the person who don't know what they want. Here's the thing. Indecision is a decision. Yeah. If you don't make a decision, somebody going to decide for you. We going out to eat at a restaurant and you got the menu on you and you see it and you don't know what you want. Come on now. You've been looking at that thing for 5-10 minutes. Now the waiter is going to decide what you get. I'm going to choose for you. As long as you have a pulse, you have a purpose. You got to understand today, if you're not dead, God ain't done. And you can't allow this. Here it is. This is your DJ Khaled major key alert moment. This is going to knock your red bottom heels off. Here's what you got to understand. Don't allow people to put a period where God placed a comma. Don't allow people's opinions to become your prison. Your greatness is in your uniqueness. Nobody can beat you being you. Your royalty demands loyalty. Your presence on this planet is a presence. Your presence on this planet has purpose. You got to understand that you are alive at this time because it is your time. Look at that neighbor. Tell him it's my time. I'm like Maxine Waters today. I'm reclaiming my time. I'm reclaiming it. Your existence is not a coincidence. It's by a divine purpose. God never places anything on this planet that doesn't have a purpose. God saw a need, and you are the seed. Oh, let me say that twice, because also now I can't get nobody helping me over here. Let me talk to this side. God saw a need, and you became a seed. Right? My seed, my structures, my identity. There's a thought that suggests great men and women are only born for the time that they are needed the most. Hear me. You are alive right now. Why? Because you are needed the most right now. Look at what's going on in our world. Look at what's going on in our community. Look what's going on in our household. Your existence is designed to make a difference. You got to understand, there's a divine design of destiny and divinity infused in your identity. Here's what God did. God looked over the balcony of eternity, looked into time, and looked into the annals and the eons of time capsule to select you for this generation, to select you for this dispensation of time. If God felt that your gifts would have been better suited for a different generation, a different period of time, you would have been born then. If he felt you would have been better suited for the 1700s, for the 1800s, for the 1900s, you would have been born at that specific portion of time. But you are here right now for a divine assignment. And here's what you got to do. You got to get in alignment with your assignment. Come on, look at that neighbor. Tell him, I know the assignment. Yeah, the assignment ain't about what I wear. The assignment is about who I am. And God strategically selected you to be born in a particular time in human history. Here's what God did. He looked out of eternity into time and saw the best place for your purpose. He saw the best city for your place and your purpose on this planet. He chose the time you needed to be born, to whom you needed to be born to, whether you like them or not. I can't get no help in here. With the gifts that you needed to be born with in order to do the work that he created you to do. I wonder today, can you see how significant you are? So here's what you do. Here's what it is. If you tell yourself you're not significant, if you tell yourself you can't do it, if you tell yourself and cheat yourself out of your opportunity, you're in many cases giving God a slap in the face. Because what he created you to do, he gifted you to do. Too many times we're comparing our chapter 1 to somebody else's chapter 30. We don't know what they had to do or what they had to go through to get to where they are right now. Story, Bishop T.D. Jakes was praying for somebody, and somebody came up to him and said, Bishop, I just need some prayer. He said, well, what do you need me to pray for you for? You know, Bishop T.D. Right? And so she said, I pray for me that I become like you. And here's what he started doing. He started praying that her father would die. He started praying that everybody would stab her in the back. He started praying for all of the things that he went through, because for him to be who he is, he had to go through what he had to go through, and people can't wear your shoes. They see the glory, but they don't understand the story of the tears you had to cry, of the times that you had to go through the pain, of all the times that people stepped on you and stabbed you not in the back but in the face. And you still here standing in your place. Do you see how significant you are? You are a miraculous phenomenon. And here's the question. Identity begs the question, what makes me me? There's no one like you. There's never been anyone like you before, and there will never be another one like you after. You got to know that you are divinely designed with a unique purpose in mind. Here it is. Within you is a divine deposit and a rich reservoir which should never be undervalued or regarded as insufficient funds. David Bennett, I hope you read this book as a psychologist and author of the book of The Gift of Being Yourself by David Benner. He defines identity as who we experience ourselves to be. Identity is the I that each of us carries within. And I want to ask you today, do you know what you're carrying? Do you know what you're carrying? Some of us say, yeah, I know I carried a baby for 9 months. I'm carrying pain. I'm carrying this person through this relationship. I can't get no help in here. I'm carrying frustration. What did God give you to carry that's not a physical or an emotional wound? As a mentor spoke to a young guy, a mentee one time, and the mentee asked him, he said, what is the greatest burden in life? He was asking his guru. And the guru and the mentor looked at him. He said, having nothing to carry. It seems like I'd be burdened if I'm carrying something. No, the burden is when I don't have anything to carry, I become aimless and shiftless when I ought to live limitless. What is identity? Here's my acronym for identity. Identity is intelligently designed, empowering naturally to introspectively transform yourself. Intelligently designed, empowered naturally to introspectively transform yourself. Identity is the self-discovery of what you possess internally and introspectively. Your identity, your personal, here it is, ID, is your intelligent design. Here's what you can't do. You can't shield it. You got to show it. You can't allow stigma or shame to mute you. You got to mute it. You got to step out of the darkness of despair. You got to step out of into the sunlit spectrum of success by illuminating your inner genius. Look at that neighbor. Tell him, I'm a genius. Yeah, you a genius. All the witty ideas and the inventions. Come on, you are a genius. You know you came up with that idea and you saw somebody do it 5 years later. Why, right? I should have invented that, girl. I had that idea. But here it is. You ain't do nothing with it. God ain't just going to leave it. Here's his song. I'm on to the next one. On to the next one. I'm on to the next one. If you ain't going to do nothing with it, you ain't going to stop my purpose on this planet. Identity is not what you're doing. It's who you're becoming. If I were to ask you who you are, you're going to generally tell me I'm a nurse, I'm a doctor, I'm a lawyer. I'm just somebody, I'm just a Mac in the back. Ain't nothing really special about me. You know how y'all talk. Yeah, I've said the same thing. Right? Identity is not about is not about what I'm doing, it's who I'm becoming. You are not a human doing, you are a human being. Right? You're more than just a job, which sometimes just means just over broke. What you do is not who you are. Your profession doesn't negate who you are as a person. And regardless of stereotypical societal standards, you're not a human doing, you're a human being. Hear me on this. Your identity is about opening your eyes to the reality of who you are. If y'all let me stretch my imagination in English, I never was the greatest writer, so I always read impossible as I'm possible. Y'all gonna get that next week. So can I just remix the word identity? Can I spell it rather than with an I? Can I spell it E-Y-E? Yeah. Identity. Identity puts you on the path to your destiny. How can you know where you're going if you have not seen who you are? Oh, come on. You got to see yourself in a different light. Knowing who I am and whose I am. You'll never know who you are until you know whose you are. Puts you in the proximity of where I am supposed to be. And one of the greatest obstacles to healthy identity is our own false beliefs and our false narrative about ourselves. Well, mom and them didn't do this. Daddy wasn't there for this. And people told me I ain't never been nothing. I ain't never about to amount to nothing. I'm from the hood, so I can't never do nothing good. The devil is a lie. They told me you just like your father. My uncle went to prison. My cousin was strung out on drugs. And my mama was a teenage mother. So I'll never be nothing. The devil is a lie again. Don't allow what you've been through to rob you of the identity that your future in God is calling you to. It makes you just have a powerful story. You mean you've been through all this and you still here? Oh, I need what you got. I need what you got. And I need you to hear me on this. I need you to get this in your spirit right now. If the vision of what you see is not where you are right now, then where you are right now is only temporary. Let me put that in reverse. Let me rewind that again. If the vision of what you see right now is not where you are, then where you are right now is only temporary. Oh, y'all should be shouting in this place. Can I get somebody to help? Can I help somebody focus and maintain hope at Focus Hope? Let me say it again. If the vision of what God showed you is not where you are right now, then where you are right now is not permanent. It's only temporary. Can I show you how to get there from here? Can I show you how to get there from here? Repeat after me. Say, I need a strategy. I don't believe you. Say it louder and prouder. I need a strategy. I need a strategy. Hear me. If you have a desire to be successful, you cannot allow yourself to settle for being average. You got to be allergic to average. You're not average, you're amazing. Why? Have you ever gotten excited about eating at an average restaurant? I ain't never heard nobody go to Ruth's Chris. It was just average. If so, you ain't going back. Right? Do you get excited about an average vacation? We just went to Jamaica, just average time. Okay, you balling. Let me ride on your plane in there. Right? Do you get excited about an average marriage or relationship? Right? Average is never good enough. So what we have to do, we have to strive for excellence. Pastor Win for the win on this one from New St. Paul. You already know what we believe. Excellence or nothing at all was the motto. That's got to be my motto. Right? Average is the top of the bottom. The best of the worst. The bottom of the top. The worst of the top. Which of these are you? Here's what average means. Average means run of the mill. Average means mediocre. Average means insignificant. You're not average. You're amazing. You're not just good. You're great. You're not a whiner. You're a winner. You're not a worrier. You're a warrior. You're not a chump. You're a champion. You're not a chicken. You're an eagle. You're not chained to your past. You're changed for your future. Look at that neighbor. Tell him SOS. Tell him scoot over some. Tell him I'm about to spread my wings. I'm about to soar to another level. You can't spell wings without win. When will you begin to take flight? Come on, not tonight, not tomorrow, right now. For your growth to be maximized, here it is. It's got to be strategic. I need a strategy with intentionality. The biggest and the most important project, hear me, that you'll ever work on is not you waxing your car. It ain't you getting your nail done, hair done, everything did. Are you fancy, huh? Shout out to all the ladies. It ain't about you being G'd up from the feet up. It ain't about what you wearing. It's about who you're becoming. The greatest project that you will ever work on is you. You know what the biggest room in the world is? It ain't in Oprah Winfrey's house. It ain't in LeBron James' house. It ain't in Michael Jordan's house. It ain't in Michael B. Jordan's house. The biggest room in the world is the room for improvement. Oh, come on. I know you came out dressed to the nines. Can't nobody stop you. You all the way up. But there's always some room for improvement because it ain't about what you got on the outside. It's who you're becoming on the inside. And if you don't know what you want, somebody's going to decide what you get. Jim Rohn said this: if you don't design your own life plan, chances are you'll fall into someone else's plan. Why do we need strategy? Why do we need systems? Why do we need structure? Systems, strategy, and structure permits ordinary people to achieve extraordinary results. You know what strategies are? Strategies are nothing more than systems for obtaining specific results. And here's what you got to do. You got to stop stalling and you got to stop procrastinating on your calling. Look at that neighbor. Tell him, stop stalling on your calling. Listen, I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world. Don't believe me? Just watch. I had an anthropology class in college over at Eastern Michigan University, right? And the day of finals, guess what I did? I didn't read the book all semester long. I read the book the day of finals. And of course, I didn't read the book. I'm looking at Cliff's notes. I'm scanning it. And I threw the book at the wall. Because here it is. I wasn't mad at the teacher. I wasn't mad at the professor. Guess who I was mad with? The greatest enemy is the inner me. Y'all ain't talking to me today. But I got to be my own best friend. Here's what procrastination is. Because listen, I'm the biggest procrastinator in the world. And I've rehabbed my habits over the years. But procrastination is the arrogant belief that God will give you another chance tomorrow what he told you to do today. Oh, you so arrogant. You so prideful. God don't give me another opportunity. Tomorrow is not promised. It's the arrogant belief that God will give me another chance tomorrow, what he told me to do today. What are you doing today? How are you cruising into your specific level? Prophetess Cruz, you already know what it is, right? Yesterday you said tomorrow. And procrastination is a thief. Procrastination robs you of your destiny and your identity. You hear me? You can be busy but not productive. You can be active but never achieve anything. And hear me, there's some questions that we need to answer. want you to write this down. Measurement, consistency, and application. I want you to write that down. Measurement, consistency, application. Measurement is, how can I measure and affect my growth? How do you know if you're growing if you can't measure it? Come on, you know your mama and your grandma. Oh boy, you're just getting bigger. You're just getting taller. Come on, let me put your height here on this wall. And they put a little marker over your head. 2 days later, oh my goodness, you almost hit the marker. Oh, you passed the marker. A month later, oh my goodness, you just shot up like a sprout. No doubt. Right? How can I check where I'm growing if I never measure it? How will you know you're growing? How will you measure your progress? Got to move through here. Consistency. How can I grow daily? What am I doing to grow daily? Personal growth needs to be a daily activity that develops into a daily habit. I got to break down measurable goals into growth steps so that I can take it daily. Application. Generally, after all is said and done, more is said than done. Yeah, we get a good speech and we ain't doing nothing when we go home. Oh, come on. But application says, can I act on it? How do I spend my time and how do I put things into practice? What areas do I need to grow in? You got to be real with yourself on this one. What resources do I need? Where can I get them? How much time should I spend on each area of growth that I do list? Here's another thing. What experiences do I need to help me grow? Who are the people that I need to get around to help me grow? And sometimes for you to get around those people, you got to take your own ego down. Here's what ego is. Easing God out of everything. You can't grow with the ego. You're going to either be an eagle or you're going to have ego. Uh-oh. Albert Einstein said this, thinking is hard work. That's why so few do it. I really want to make you upset today. I love you, though. Here it is. I'm going to speak the truth in love. If you ever hear someone say this is off the top of my head, guess what you can expect? Dandruff. Y'all going to get that next week. Here it is. It takes real serious study. It takes real strategy, Dr. Whitney, to think big and to take action. Here it is. Your growth's got to be measured, Bishop Brailsford. What gets measured gets done. Pastor Randolph, I know you understand it. How will you know what happens and what progress you're making until you find some way to track your growth? Listen, I have to say it's important to do it, but it's difficult to do it. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it. Right? It requires elevation, but it also requires reflection. Here it is. What's your big picture for growth? What's your big picture of growth? Let me skirt through here real quickly. Let me cut across the grass. 4 kinds of people that visionaries generally come across. 4 kinds of people. When it comes to vision, there are 4 kinds of people that leaders encounter. Number 1, people who never see it. They are wanderers. They don't even know where they're going. They like a black cat in a dark room looking for, they walk in a dark room looking for a black cat that ain't even there. Right? People who never see it, they're wanderers. People who see it, secondly, but never pursue it on their own. They are followers. People who see it, but never pursue it on their own, they are followers. Thirdly, people who see it, they are achievers. But here's what you got to be. You got to be a person who doesn't just see it. You got to be a person who sees it, pursues it, and helps others do it. That's why I invited you here. I only got 1 clap in here. I'm going to clap. I'm going to make that 2. Right? The vast majority of us fall into the first 2 categories. People who see it, people who never see it, rather, they're just wanderers. Or people who see it but never pursue it on their own. We just become followers. Too many times we're following the trend when we need to be setting the trend. Yes. Right? The vast majority of people never pursue a dream on their own. The poorest person, I need you to hear me, is not the one without a dime. It's the one without a dream. It's the one without a vision. Without a vision, the people perish. My people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. It's time to shift From here it is, from now to wow. Oh, look at that neighbor. Tell them, you're going from now to wow. So here's what you got to do. Number one, you got to look within. Look within. What do you feel? I'm giving you 4. I think I've got 4 or 5, 1 or 2, but I'm going to go through this real quickly. Look within. What do you feel? Why do I say that? Because you cannot borrow anybody's vision. Listen, at the club, they told her BYOB. Y'all know what that means. Or you go to the cabaret, BYOB, bring your own bottle. But here's what you got to do, BYOV, bring your own vision. Right? When Elizabeth and Mary came together in Scripture, oh, yeah. Bible said when she greeted her with salutations, the baby leaped. Listen, I want to talk to you today, and if don't nothing leap out of me, I got to keep it moving. I need to connect with people who make my vision leap. I'm tired of people who only kill my vision. Drama and dream killers. I need some visionaries who make my vision. Come on, if you really about it, I just want somebody to stand up and leap. I'm going from now to wow. I'm leaping to my purpose. I'm leaping to my next level. Here it is. Vision must come from within you. What brings it out with your passion? What fires you up? What makes your blood boil? I was in a session with Dr. Miles Monroe before he passed away. He said, every problem is a business. I'm driving through my hood doing good, looking for problems. What can I solve? You ain't a problem, you a problem solver. What keeps you up at night? What brings you great joy? What wakes you up without your alarm clock? Oh, I don't need no alarm clock. Purpose wakes me up. Winston Churchill said this, the former Prime Minister of Great Britain said, before you can inspire with emotion, you must first be swamped with it. Here it is. Before you can move their tears, your own must flow. My friend had a conversation. If I told you his name, if I told you both their names, you know who they are. He said, he was talking to a recording artist, and he said, how did you write this song? It's just so mellifluous, melodious, and euphonious. It's all over the charts. He said, how did you write this hit? How did you write this hit? And the brother looked at him. He said, in order for me to write a hit, I had to first get hit. Dave, they ain't rocking with me. Mama, they ain't rocking. If I can't get nobody say amen, I know my mama will. Right? I got to first get hit. What has hit you that now you can hit somebody else with it too? Not to put them down, but to lift them up. My pain produced power. To convince them, you got to first believe. Right? Secondly, I want you to go to this one. Look behind you. What did you learn? I told you first, look within. What do you feel? Look behind. What did you learn? A know-it-all really knows nothing at all. You got to be receptive to listen, to learn. A know-it-all knows nothing at all. How can you take what you've learned and implement it into your life and the lives of others? Here it is. Every significant vision is built upon the past lessons that you've learned. Listen, I come and let somebody know, even though Big Sean, and we ride with him because he's Detroiter. He said, last night took an L, but tonight I bounced back. But here it is. That stood for a loss. You never took an L. If anything, you never lost. You only learned. If I took an L, it's my lessons. If I took an L, it's learning. If I took an L, it's because I'm lifting to another level. If I took an L, it's because I'm leaning on the Lord. Here it is. If you lean to your own understanding, you'll always fall. But I got to stand on the lesson and stand tall. Jonas Salk said this. He said, first people will tell you that you're wrong, then they tell you that you're right. But what you're doing really ain't that important. Finally, they'll admit that you are right and that what you were doing is very important. But after all, they knew it all the time. Well, I knew you was going to be great, but you was the first one talking about me. Here it is. First they call you crazy, then they call you for advice. Oh. Mo, I might need security. I might need security, Mo. I just might. Number three. Listen, if y'all stand up, I might get scared. I'm from the east side for a reason. Pastor, you got the sword. You got two swords. Yeah, right. You know what I'm talking about. Got the Bible and a weapon. Like, peace and peace. Number three, look around you. Look around you. Tasha Page, I hope I'm on the right page. Look around you. What is happening to others? What is happening to others? Too many times we only listen to a radio station. Your favorite radio station ain't FM 98 WJOB. It ain't 105.9. It ain't Kiss FM. Here it is. It's WII FM. Y'all ever been on that radio station? You on that every day. What's in it for me? John Moore, I know you know I got a little bit more left in me. Right? What's in it for me? You have to pay attention to not just you, but your environment. Look at the problem, see what solutions you can provide. Here it is. Leaders listen to people. Leaders learn from people. Leaders discern how to lead the people. Dr. Cornel West said, you can't lead the people if you don't love the people. You can't save the people if you don't serve the people. Right? I got to understand that. Number four. I'm sorry. Yeah. Number four. I told you number three, look around you, what is happening to others. Let me go to number four. Look around you, what is happening to others. Since I'm still on number three, here's one thing. There was a story about a little boy who went to a symphony one day. He was delighted. He was excited by the music, captivated by a guy who was just playing the cymbals. He stood motionless. The guy wasn't really fancy. He wasn't nothing spectacular about it. There's the whole orchestra and the whole band there, and he's only focused on the cymbals. Guy just stood there planking the cymbals, motionless. And the boy's parents had backstage passes, took him backstage and to meet some of the musicians. Rather than running over to the cellist, rather than running over to the violinist, rather than running over to the percussionist, he ran over to the guy who was on the cymbals. And the parents are looking at him mystified. And he runs up to him, and the musician's laughing like, ain't nobody came to me all night. What you need? He said, I don't need to know too much, but I just need to ask you, what does it take to play the cymbals? And he said, you don't have to know much. All you have to know is when. Knowing when to do something is just as important as knowing what to do. Number four, I'm almost there. Look above you. What does God expect of you? What is success without significance? Here it is. If God ain't in it, I don't want to be either. Right? I got to know what he desires from me. God is not a genie. God is not a genie. You don't rub the Bible 3 times and he give you 3 wishes. Well, he said he's going to give me the desires of my heart. Well, here's this. He makes your desires his. His desires for you become your desires for yourself because God don't give you what you want. He gives you what to want. Oh, I'm working too hard today. I'm working too hard. There are no hopeless situations. There are only people who think hopelessly. Number 5, look ahead of you. What is your big picture? Dr. Miles Monroe said this, vision is purpose in pictures. I got to get a vision. I got to get a picture of it. If I said dog, you don't think D-O-G. Now you're thinking D-O-G because I said D-O-G. But you think about a brown dog. You think about a spotted Dalmatian. You see a picture of it. What do you see when you close your eyes? Here it is. When you have a dream, you're always walking, even if your eyes are closed, with purpose. Right? I have to understand what is it, the big picture that I have for my life. I don't know about you, but life is flying. It ain't moving slower. It's moving faster. 2023 is walking out of here like it's got an appointment to be at. Come on now. Heard somebody say life is like a roll of toilet paper. The closer you get to the end, the faster it goes. Don't tell me how you know. Keep that to yourself. The big picture as a visionary is about seeing more and before others do. Here's what I got to do as a leader, as a visionary. I got to see more and I got to see before. It takes strategy to do that. I got to see what's coming before it comes. I got to have a source so that I can have the resources. Right? When you see, you got to hear me. You got to see it before you see it, because if you don't see it before you see it, you'll never seize it. Look at that neighbor. Tell him, I'm coming for what's mine. Well, I'm coming for what's mine. Right? What solutions can you provide? Steve Jobs said this, who created the iPhone. Y'all have it. We're going to pray for the Android users today. We're going to pray. No Android formed against me shall prosper. We're going to pray for you. Y'all trying to pray on us. I'm going to pray for you. Here it is. Steve Jobs said this. When you really care about something, when you really have a vision, you don't have to be pushed. The vision pulls you. I ain't got to make you do something you don't want to do, because the vision is within you. Most people have to see it to believe it, but visionaries believe it to see it. Y'all ever been to Disney World? Y'all know Walt Disney? Here it is. We don't hear much about Mrs. Walt Disney. But she was speaking at a grand opening, and Walt had died some years ago, and she was introduced by a man who said, Mrs. Disney, I just wish that your husband Walt could see this. Guess what she did? She stood up. She said, he did, and she sat down. Because he saw Epcot Center. He saw all of it before we ever rode on it. He saw the vision before we ever took part of it. And here's what we got to understand. We got to understand the whole aspect that we have to have a growth plan. John Maxwell was asked, what is the difference between leadership in his 30s and leadership in his 70s? He said, in his 30s, he gave a lot of direction, but now that he's older, he asks a lot of questions. What questions are you using as keys to open up doors of opportunity? Are you asking the right questions? Here's what we do. We ask, how long is it going to take, and how far can I, rather than how far can I go? Are we there yet? How long is it going to take? Right? How long will it take is arriving. Are we there yet is about asking the question. It's not about the journey. It's not about the destination. It's about the journey. How far can I go is a question about evolving. As I said before, it's not solely about where you're going, it's about who you're becoming. If you walk in your purpose, here it is, you won't have to chase an opportunity. The opportunity will chase you. I'm coming to my close. I'm coming around the mountain. Here I come. The most dangerous place you can be in life is not when you're walking on water, but when you're staying in the boat. Jesus told Peter to come. He didn't just walk on the water. He walked on the word. What word did God give you that you still sitting on? Here's what you got to do. You got to get comfortable with being uncomfortable. You got to be uncomfortable with being comfortable. The comfort zone is characterized by doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result, which is straight up crazy. What's pulling you back into the boat? Is it your trauma? Ms. Glover, I know you're going to ride with me on this one. Is it your mother wounds? Is it your father wounds? Is it low self-esteem? Is it limited stinking thinking? Is it imposter syndrome pulling you back? Song said, every time I try to leave, something keeps pulling me back, Y'all don't know that song. I better not sing it with her in the house. What am I doing? Your motto has to be forward ever, backward never. I'm not just walking on the water. I'm walking on the word that God gave me. And that's why you need That's why you need purpose pushers. You need purpose partners. You don't need drama and dream killers. If you have people in your life and they're not supporting you, you don't have a circle. You have a cage. And here it is. Chains are no longer metal. Now they're mental. It's time for you to shake yourself loose. Just shake yourself. Just shake yourself. Come on, brush your shoulders off. Brush your shoulders off. Get the dirt off your shoulder. Right? Here it is. If you're going to complete the assignment on your life, then you need people who are an assignment, not an attachment. Oh, good thing I'm leaving now. You need people who are an assignment, not an attachment. Attachments drain you. Assignments develop you. Here's what you got to understand. People who are assignments in your life understand the assignment on your life. Look at somebody, tell them, I know the assignment. Can I tell you this? This is what freed me. The answer will always be no if you never ask. Scripture says, ask and it shall be given, seeking you shall find, knock on the door shall be open. Here it is. You take the A off of ask, you take the S off the seek, you take the K off of knock. Guess what it is? It's still ask. Closed mouths don't get fed on this boulevard. You know why you ain't got nothing? Because you ain't said nothing. Well, what they gonna think about me? They gonna think something about you whether you succeed or you fail. You might as well keep going and let it blow their mind. Right? Here it is. I told my brother this the other day. I said, it's not my responsibility to decide where the blessing's coming from. It's my responsibility to demand the blessing comes. Right? And I want to ask you today as I head to my seat, have you ever lost your ID? Because that's what we're talking about today. Have you ever lost your ID? Here's the thing. How can you prove without proof? You said you are who you say you are, but I can't believe who you say you are because I can't see who you are. I don't know if you ever had your identity stolen. If so, then you know it's a frightening experience. And here's the thing. The person who's getting stolen from faces the greatest ramifications than the person who stole from them. Now you jumping through hoops and loops trying to prove who you are. Well, I was born in this time. This is my social security number, da-da-da-da. But here's the thing. Art imitates life. And now you become the main character in your own precarious situation. You got to understand there's always been a thief whose main objective is to steal from you. Scripture says the thief cometh but not before to steal, kill, and to destroy. But Jesus said, I come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. And here's what he did in the midst of three, steal, kill, and destroy. It seemed like if he already killed you, he already destroyed you. Steal is to take from you. It's to steal your identity. Kill is not just you. It's to kill the purpose in you. But destroy is for everything that's connected to you. And that's why you're here today. Not to be destroyed, but to be developed. Can I tell it like a TI is? Age of 15, faced one of my greatest hurdles, circumstances, and challenges. Oftentimes, the situation of what it is that we experience becomes so precarious. And I'm over at my friend's house watching a football game, can't breathe by halftime. And I'm here to tell you today that your test is testimony, your misery is ministry, your mess is a message, your stumbling block is a stepping stone. What God will do is he'll use your setback as a setup for your greatest comeback. He'll use your tragedy as strategy. Do I got some people in here who understand you don't look like what you've been through? If we had the movie The Color Purple on the screen here, I tell you, just like Sophia, all my life, I had to fight. My favorite two classes in school were gym and lunch. I love to chase the girls in gym, sit down and eat with them at lunch, and I was feeling real precarious. Faith, I know you understand where I was doubting my life, because in many cases it seemed as if I was losing my life and I was just starting my life. My mother was wondering what's going on with me, and I'm like, no, I'm good, because as boys becoming men, you know, you don't cry, don't show no weakness. You ain't soft, you ain't no girl. Stand up, be a man. And I was dealing with pain that was eating me from the inside out. Went over to my friend's house, couldn't see the football game, couldn't breathe by halftime, felt like somebody was stabbing my chest. Long story short, his mother takes me to the hospital. My mother meets me there. The doctors are swarming around the gurney and doing a CT scan of the chest. They see they need to take me to surgery immediately. They see my cells in my body growing so fast they can see them growing with the naked eye around my heart, my trachea, my esophagus, my voice box. Place I'm speaking to you out of right now. Doctor says, Eddie, you have NHL. I thought it was National Hockey League. He says, you have not one, not two, not three, but four, stage 4 cancer that I was diagnosed with at the age of 15. My own biological father never visited me one day in the hospital. People I thought were praying for me were literally praying on me. Chemotherapy, radiation, lost all my hair, my self-confidence, my self-esteem. But I'm grateful for my mama who prayed for me. Had me on her mind, took the time to pray for me. And she said, you got to reclaim your identity. Cancer made me cry, but it didn't make me quit. Years later, a guy walked into the convenience store and inconvenienced me when I saw him. He said, Eddie, I thought you died. Them was fighting words. I was getting ready to have a Will Smith, Chris Rock moment. And I wasn't going to be Chris. But it reminded me that so many people robbed me of my identity, and I was one of my own thieves because I didn't think I would make it. But here's what it is. You got to understand, it's not about the valuables. It's about you understanding that you are valuable. It ain't about the Rolex on your wrist. It's about you knowing what time it is. It's not about your designer glasses if you ain't got no vision. It's not about what you drive. It's about what's driving you. It's not about what you're wearing. It's who you're becoming. Look at that neighbor. Tell him no more identity theft. No more identity theft. God is giving you back what you lost. Here it is. I'm heading to my seat. Tell somebody, this is the highest I've ever been, but the lowest you'll ever see me. Come on, tell somebody else. Tell them, this is the highest I've ever been, but the lowest you'll ever see me. I'm going to higher heights. I'm going to another level. With your hands uplifted, with your hands uplifted, I want you to lift your hands as high as you see yourself going. I speak over your life right now that you will not live impulsively, you will live intentionally. I speak over your life right now that every generational curse over your life and your family is broken. I speak over your life that every place of identity theft where people robbed you of your purpose is broken in the name of Jesus. I speak over your life that every place of identity crisis will not cripple you. I declare and decree that you will have clarity in your identity. And so I speak generational blessings over your life. I declare and decree that your ideas will become income. I declare and decree that your contacts will become contracts. I speak over your relationships. I speak over your marriage. I speak over your mentality, over your health, over your money, over your family, over your children, over your aspirations, over your business, over your church. That whatever you put your hands to will prosper. You will walk in your purpose. You will walk in your destiny. You will access your identity. You will be all that God created you to be. Look at somebody, tell them you're going to live again. You will heal again. You will laugh again. Now shake this place with a praise because it's yours. Come on, tell that person, show me some ID. Show me your power. Show me your next level. Show me your opportunity. Give somebody a high five. Tell them it's mine. Tell them it's mine.